basically what determines if you go to hell. Like
Sure.
whether like the idea of not believing is to be considered a sin and that condemn you to hell, even if you are a you know good, objectively moral person.
Okay. Yeah. Um. Okay. Would you want to expound any more on that, or do you just want me to respond and we can go from there? Like, just to help me understand, I think it's best to bring clarity to your opinions, your view, what that sounds like to you.
Well,
Um.
so my opinion is obviously it's entirely based off of just the understanding because I haven't read it myself. I'm just going off of what other people have said, and I hear people like
Okay.
say,
Sure.
including plenty of family members of mine that trying to push me towards belief because of they hold the same belief is that um, no matter what you've done, as long as at the end of your life, by the time of the end of your life, you are repentant for your sins and you look to God and accept Him and the sacrifices of Jesus Christ, whether you believe that part of the Trinity or whatever, like as long as you believe in that sacrifice and that He is real and that died for your sins and accept that sacrifice and that He is your Creator, then and are repentant for your sins, and you will be granted access to heaven. But for whatever reason, if you don't believe, for whatever reason, that is considered like I would I don't I'm paraphrasing, but like a cardinal sin, and that is enough to damn you to an eternity of hell, and that
Okay.
just doesn't seem benevolent.
Sure. Yeah. Great. Nice. That is really cool to hear about, and that sounds like something my mom actually. My mom's not a Christian. I wasn't raised in a Christian family. I actually came to become a Christian in middle school, and then like further in college, or in yeah, a journey of like asking questions and like whatever. Not my family, but my mom says it and like more like phrase like this way, an extreme version. Like so, you're like she would tell me. So Justin, you're telling me that a murderer like could just on his deathbed like say, "Oh, I believe in Jesus," and then oh he goes to go to heaven, but if I don't, your mom who's been a pretty good person, if I just don't believe, I just go to hell. What gives? That sounds like BS. I mean that you would kind of agree with that.
Yeah,
Oh
because
that
that's kind of how it's been explained to me, in not so in so many words.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll kind of explain what I
But
think the Christian faith
with
actually. Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
was
can
just
kind
gonna
of.
say, but with that they've explained. Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting
No,
you.
that's
I have
okay.
in
It's
the midst
hard
of
with the
thought.
Wi-Fi. Yeah. Yeah. Do it, please.
That it's not for everybody that I've talked to say that it's not necessarily you just suddenly like you say that you believe, but you also have to believe and also be repentant for any sins that you've committed and genuinely like want to atone for them.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's closer. I think there's like I see. To be honest, I hate like religious language. I think a lot of it is unnecessary. I think like we can like say it in like normal human terms. No, I think it's useful terms. And I use religious language, but I think when I don't have to, I like not to. But I think my point is I
Right.
think there's a common sense way to understand it. Like it sounds like which is intuitive. But yeah. Well, first of all, there's one I'd say like God isn't like the term the Bible uses like is mocked. Like he's not like he knows people's hearts. If God's real, he's all knowing. He knows people's hearts. If someone just like says, "Oh, you believe, I believe in you," um, at the last second, okay, he knows the heart of a person just deep down. Like he's not fooled by that. Like that's just like okay, whatever. Down hell, you murderer who kills people or whatever. And two, like that. What does believe mean? I think it is like repentant. Like okay, the Bible says a few things. Once it says like if you believe, like you'll be saved. If you confess Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart, you will be saved. That's one thing. But then it also says, even the demons believe God exists, and shudder. Like okay, wait. It shows the demons exist. Obviously, they believe in God existence, and the Bible acknowledges that. So and they're going to hell. I mean, the demons like they're just pure evil. They're right supposedly.
Mm.
Um, so then okay, what's the Bible trying to say? And I think that verse I just quoted a verse, Romans 10. I'm trying to just for my sake, Romans 10:9. If you confess Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart God raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. So it's kind of both. I think believing exists is a necessity. Like I mean, Uh, but I think it's much more than that. Okay, if I believe this all, why? Like, if I believe in God, all good, all benevolent, all knowing, all meaning all wise, all powerful. If I believe He exists, He's all wise, like, and all good. Like, I'm gonna follow Him if I truly believe that guy exists. If Jesus is this guy
Right.
who He says He is, if I believe that, I'm gonna follow Him. If I don't follow Him, I clearly don't believe in Him. I think the term belief, I guess, just to stop there, I think it's a good summary phrase, but we kind of have to take the full context of different places of the Bible, how it describes it. Now, the Bible's a big book; it can be hard, but that is the picture of what like belief means to the Bible. What do you think about that? Is that like
Well, well, I can't obviously can't say because I haven't read enough of it to have an opinion on what the Bible
yeah,
might say about it.
that's
But if
okay.
that's I would maybe take issue with, if that is what it is, I would take issue with the idea that if somebody truly does believe that, that will affect 100% say like, okay, they if they do truly believe, then they will follow. I disagree with that because humanity is fundamentally flawed and very willful. Like people are going to act against things whether they have a genuine belief in something or not. They, regardless of any fear of consequences or anything. I don't feel that a genuine belief would stop them from being bad people if they are just innately bad people.
Sure. Okay, that could be unpacked some, but I'll move forward for now. I'll see if it comes back. Yeah, I think for the most part, I think I agree with your objection. I think further clarity is required. Um, like I think people are complicated, we're mixed bags all the way. I mean,
Hmm.
I think every single person has evil in them. I think every single person has good in them. I think we're mixed bags. I think culture likes to paint it black and white today. These days, everything's black and white. I don't think it is. Okay, start recording again. I think that's never happened before. So whatever. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. But I think it won't. Um, okay. Let me just close any other apps in this just to help everything run better. Okay, where was I? Ding. Um, I was explaining something on like can't remember. Do you remember?
You kind of left on, but like interpretation of like what the Bible's meaning of belief is.
Okay. Uh, sure. And I guess maybe what I'd move on to, what I'd say is, yeah, God. Like I said, I think I said this already, beat this already. Like God isn't tricked by uh
Hmm.
false belief. But like, okay, people are complicated. I was talking about that, and I guess I can get into the story of like why. Okay, why does a seemingly good person like really even like some good people? Like I've met some people that don't believe in God, and like also I this is stuff I wrestle with. Like I want to say I'm not just trying to give you like like an answer. Oh, here's an answer. Like I've wrestled with the stuff myself, and I'm still wrestling with stuff. So I don't like BS answers. I like satisfying answers. So you, we can
Hmm.
kind of wrestle. I feel pretty satisfied actually, but we can still wrestle together with them. So I like to say that. But like I said, I've met some pretty good, seemingly good people, and actually, no, I'll call them good. Good people who don't believe in God, and actually, I've met plenty of plenty of people who don't believe in God that are better, way better than some Christians I know. Way better, I can say that. So I can say that with like, yeah, with certainty. Now, like, why? Now, with me admitting that, why do I still think that God is still good for His system? Because is like I think described in the TikTok. So the Bible says that no one is good, not one. Now the Bible again, it uses different language. Like it acknowledges, like you can call like maybe you a good person or me like generally a good person, but like there's like standard of goodness I think I described of God like any evil in this world is like bad. Like the things that we think are like us are like no biggie white lies, no biggie white a little bit of judgment, hate, lust, like or small things like oh we're not as bad as those bad people over there, those murderers, those child molesters. Like God, like I think this is one of the TikToks that you responded to that I said it's like a crayon on like the Mona Lisa. Like, oh,
Mhm.
like maybe someone who doesn't know, like, not a big deal, but like, wait, that's a big deal. That's a priceless painting. And then how much more like this world around us that God made, like He made the world perfect, and we think it's a no big deal. That's a big deal. Okay, there's one thing, and I don't not to ramble more. I don't like to talk too long, but I'll just say this other important aspect, which is like retribution or punishment, like him being perfectly good. I think forces him to be perfectly just. And evil, bad acts require a punishment. Just generally we can understand that. Um, and I think with him being perfectly just for these evil, that's why we are all condemned. Like if we all stand in a state of condemnation because we all have done evil. I'm the first one to say I've done evil in my life or bad things, and even like even actually even more than I'd like to admit, way more than I'd like to admit. But yeah, I guess I'll leave it there. They require punishment. I shouldn't ramble too on, so we can just like parse this out. Yeah, so that's why. And then okay, I should say that one connection. Sum up the summary connection. Okay, we've all done evil. They require a punishment. We need we deserve hell. I'll stop there for now. What does that sound like? What's like that's weird, but that's weird though, Justin. Because what do you think about that?
So
That's
I
weird.
would actually heavily disagree with that.
Okay, yeah,
I
here
would
let's parse it out.
so well. I guess I'd start with what would be the point of making people born inherently evil? Like, what would be the purpose of that? And I would
Oh, sure.
on top.
Okay, great. Oh, you want me to respond? Sorry, I was just like just
Well, because yeah, because I like I could go through like the whole thing and like there's like multiple points of it. So I think it just makes more sense to tackle each part.
yeah. I agree. I think I was also I agree. I like that. The point. Now, I don't think he made us inherently evil. Actually, I think I ponder this a decent amount. I think the best explan- explanation is the idea of free will, and perhaps like made us free creatures, free to love and have true love. I think if he made us with the inability to have to choose evil, like or to choose like our own way, I think we'd be robots, or we wouldn't have this the truest form of love.
Right.
And so I think he had to give us a choice. And I think it's a
Well,
logical
so
impossibility to have. Yeah, and I guess I'll just say I think it.
I would
Oh yeah.
say that if that's sorry, I would say that if that's the I would say if that's the reasoning, then that would allude to people being like born amoral. They don't have a morality yet, and they will be shaped by their experiences and what happens to them, and they are free to make those choices later on. Which is I would secularly that's what I would believe people are is amoral until circumstance happens to shape who they are.
Mm, yeah. Um. Okay. I guess. Here's what bit of evidence from the world that makes me think that's not true. Uh, is people react different from similar circumstances. Um, they were like if someone gets abused by their parent or their dad. Uh, some become choose to be abusers from that. They abuse their own children. Lots do, and then also lots get motivated and go the opposite way. Actually, choose to be an even better father than they ever could have been. It motivates them the other direction, and you can put it in a million different circumstances. I think people, yeah, I just think people they make choices. It's not just their environment. Their environments
Right.
definitely play a
Well,
factor. Definitely play a factor. But
I would agree with that, but I do think that your environment is the largest contributing factor. Maybe not it all the time, but it would be. But like I don't think that anybody is born inherently good or inherently evil. There's an
interesting.
equal possibility for both.
I and now here's also another this thought just popped in my head. So this is not one I think I've held previously. So feel free to nitpick it, or please do because it's a new thought. I think I think the fact it's not too new. I've thought about this before, but I think the fact that there's actually good in this world, I think is evidence against that, against amorality. I think we have goodness and something like the Bible says this phrase that God wrote His law into our hearts. Here's why. I think why the good is proof of this is because I think doing evil is objectively like, if we're not going to think of morality here, just me, what's best for me, I think you get farther in life from doing evil. I think if you cheat people, maybe not all the way, not all the way. I think
Hmm.
you obviously want to be nice. You want to have relationships. People feel nice. Like, you want to treat probably your wife good, so she treats you good. But I think you no reason not to cheat people, um, take shortcuts, put people down to bring yourself up. I think evil is the better way. Is to get farther. Just again, I'm stepping out of like a
Oh no,
morality for a second,
I
but
no
it's
like
by
that. I think
far
that's a logical way of thinking. I would agree.
cheating's the way to go. And I think, okay, then if people are shaped from their environment, um, from this, I think the world will get progressively worse, worse and worse and worse and worse. And I think in a few generations, good would be weeded out. And I think, oh wait,
I
good's still here.
I disagree, and I'll there's a
Okay,
pretty good reason why. So you
yeah,
take out the uh any theological argument and just pure, people reacting to things.
sure, okay,
Over time, you know, eventually people would group up as like, well, it benefits them not to screw over other members of a group to maintain, so they don't get screwed over by a group or killed or robbed or something like that. And eventually you maintain a cohesive set, and then eventually and it's beneficial to you in the long run. Like if you look at it from the point of like early man, becoming hunter gatherers or anything like that, violent, but over time you could they people would see benefits of working together and what we would and doing things that we would consider today to be morally good, like just like basically saying, I'm not going to hurt you, you're not going to hurt me, then we can both stay alive longer, and that eventually would reasonably progress into a society that we have today, where we have laws and regulations on behavior or actions to
okay,
prolong the individual life for everybody. Obviously, there's corruption and all this other stuff. It still happens, but it is minimized, and usually in there's at least a baseline that a society can agree on
okay,
for the furtherment of everybody.
sure. Uh, this is cool. I am realizing you are deaf. I'm really glad you said yes. This is a really interesting, neat conversation. Thank you very much, by the way.
Of course.
Okay, now to respond. I'm just so grateful. This is the way to do it. Talk to people like you. This is great. Um, okay, I think now. Okay, if we go from the beginning, you say like over time, you can kind of see a picture of how it could be built immorally, but I just without there being like actually morality built already in there. I just don't see, okay, you have a tribe together and like why not do what's best for you? Like I want to lie, I want to get to the top, put down, work against, like okay, I want to be in power. I want to be chief. Excuse me. I want to be chief. Put down, okay, want to lie? Oh, next person in line, okay, I stab them. If I just don't get caught. Uh I'm a
And
little hungry. We're as a tribe lower, have less food right now. Oh, I'm hungry. I want what's best for me. Um, screw it. I'm gonna take more food than I was portioned to me because it's best for me. Like maybe in the long run, there's some holes in here because I could see like an explanation. But I think
well, right, but I'm not saying it's perfect, but obviously that stuff does still happen, and we've always had power struggles, you know, murders for power, anything like that. I'm gonna stab my two older brothers so that way I can become king instead of them. That's always existed throughout history. You've had people stealing, killing, robbing, you know, for food or under certain circumstances when things are scarce. You're always going to have that, but there will always be a baseline. It's not perfect. That's why we still have so much what we would even eh, even just without God, we see that there's good and evil in the world, and each side can try to stop it, and you eventually will get to a point where it's less of like it's a I think everything is a learned morality. So like everybody has a morality based off of the society that they live in, and it
okay,
could possibly differ or change based off of how they individually might view something.
okay. I I learned morality. Okay, this is an interesting place to go, and something I put actually a lot of thought into the morality itself. And maybe this would be a good direction to move because it's hard. I'd have to put more thought on. I mean, I'd have to think more on
Mhm.
why I think um, the evidence in the real world why I don't think we're amoral creatures until persist until I don't know until experiences come in. I don't think deeper, but this is a direction which I think I've thought a little more deeper on. Um, uh, a learned society. Let me think. Why is you think so? You think like we got our. I should ask this really quick. What is your view? Are you agnostic, atheist, or are you
I'm agnostic. I don't actively believe or disbelieve in any religion.
okay? Do you what would the closest worldview? Do you ascribe to naturalism? Like you think like that seems the most likely? Like what determinism
Naturalism. I don't think I'm familiar. If
or
I'm familiar, I'm not
materialism?
familiar with
Is
by name.
or materialism? Or just the idea of like okay, you at least subscribe to like oh like okay, it's hard to because yeah, okay, I'll say this fine. Um, you believe in evolution, like you believe
I
like
do.
we got our morality from I guess that's not too relevant, but our morality from evolution, and this can it can get explained. My bad. It like everything can be explained naturally, like from the natural
Yes.
world, from just from atoms in the fundamental forces in nature of the universe.
I do. Yes, I do believe that there is a natural and observable um, explanation for everything, even if we do not currently have the ability to observe those answers. But I do also believe that there are some things that we may not ever be able to know. Simply, it is just simply beyond our grasp. Like just like because even going into the back, like I believe equally that everything that I believe in could be possibly the creation and intelligent design of an all powerful creator. It's
Okay.
just works in a way that I have seen, and I just have not seen the evidence that would point me to him until you go to the beginning, where science and religion both make equal nonsense. Like it just doesn't make sense on
Okay.
either side.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. I just thought it was worth me understanding at least a little bit more from where you're coming from for continuing forward. It just helps to bring clarity. Okay. Here's some evidence to where I think we cannot explain morality from just from evolution or just natural occurrences. And
Mhm.
I think the best evidence for this is the type of morality we believe in, and this kind of combines the discussion were having. I think the type of morality now, not everybody, like there's, but for the vast majority of the world, I think we believe in objective morality. Like there are some like objectively evil things, and there are some objectively evil things in this world. Like in any universe, like even if meaning even if the whole world believed something was something that's evil was they thought it was good like if even if the whole world thought that this is a popular one in philosophy classes
Mhm.
I'm not just making this up sick-minded torturing babies
Right.
for fun is good even if the whole world believed it. Most people believe in a morality that says no, even if everyone believed it, that's still messed up. um do you, what do you think? Do you think that is an accurate view of morality, or no? Would you ascribe to that? Yeah, yay or nay?
I think I um for the most part, maybe I don't fully understand what you're saying, but maybe
Okay,
I
yeah,
can maybe I say it like my own words. You can tell me if it's the same.
yeah, great, perfect.
Like I would agree to a point that that if that's what the entire society believes, then to that society, that would be an objective, moral, good or neutral. Because I do believe that morality is entirely based on what the society determines. Like there is no like if you take out God, there is a neutral baseline, and the only what is considered to be good, like basically immoral or moral, is determined by that society, and we see that in differences in different countries or different religions considered to be objective good, objective bad, and that can differ from society to society. or if you look at ancient cultures, drastically different.
Okay. Sure. Okay. So what do you think of Hitler? Okay, real quick. Do you think Hitler, what he did, like pretty vast majority of World War II, was a bad evil thing?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I expected that. Now, just for clarity, question, I had to ask that because I've had people say no. I've had people say no, I don't think so. and jeez, I mean seriously, I would like to say more, but I can't
Yeah. Well,
because
I
of
might change my mind. Depends
uh.
on if I'm wearing my tinfoil hat or not.
Sure. Oh jeez. Sorry, Austin.
Just kidding.
I don't think people I know are listening to this who say that, but I think it's just um people I know, so I'm not gonna go farther into that. But okay,
Mm,
so clarity, here's the question I'd ask then, for according to your view. Even if so you think it's evil, I think most people would also agree. I agree that what he did
mm.
was evil. The Holocaust, everything with the Jews, bad. Now, if even let's say he won the war and he brainwashed everyone to think what he did was good, and everyone thought it, would then, according to your view, would it be good then? What he did,
If that's what I had grown up in, and
if
then
everyone,
that's what everybody believed, and everybody there was a general consensus, I would most likely agree. And history is written by the victors. So
now I agree. If I grew up in that, I would think what he did was good. But is it good? Like we step out of what we would think in that universe. Like if we're just judging it from that society, would it
mm.
be? Was it good?
So
Just
okay, I
because
see where you're
everyone
going.
believed it.
I
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I do not believe in an objective morality outside of society that is a baseline, regardless of what society does. I
Okay.
may I may disagree to a point because obviously I have the morals and beliefs of my time, and those are ingrained within me. So obviously, if I was removed and then to watch things after, obviously I would think no, that's objectively wrong or that's objectively good. But that's because I'm shaped by the society that I was raised in.
Okay. Yeah. Dang. Sorry, I'm smiling because I think this is. I've been starved of these conversations. I've been starved of them. I just am so grateful for this. Uh,
Yeah, well,
my
that's
wife,
good for me too. Normally when I do it, people either an echo chamber or people get super pissed off.
oh yeah, for me it's just an echo chamber, and my wife getting so bored of me, just begging me to stop. I love you anyway. She's out there. I don't know. She's probably not listening. She's bored already if she was. But okay. So this. I've really been dying to go down this road with people explore this more. Okay. And the second question. That's good to know. I'm not positive. Yeah, we'll just go down the road. Do you think people? So now in a society, let's go to society. Um, I don't know, whatever, our society, America, or whatever. I know it gets complex with the world, whatnot, but with something that is okay, murder. You'd say at least relative to our society, more murder, like meaning a cold-blooded murder is
Hmm.
objective is bad, is evil.
Right.
Relative
Yes,
to
I
our
would agree.
society, you'd agree to that. Now, do you think? Now, here's the kicker that I think is really interesting to discuss. Do you think people in that society ought not to murder? Do you think I'm in this society? I ought not to find you and murder you. That word "ought" is the important one.
I'm not sure I follow. So the
Okay,
society you're talking about in a society that believes that it's immoral to murder somebody, and
I'm
then
over.
I got lost after that.
I'm overcomplicating it. Okay, I'm stepping into your worldview, and I'm just gonna say this. Whatever.
Okay.
Just you and me right here. Is it objective, or do I? Okay, my bad. Ought, how do I phrase? I just phrased it. Ought I? Should I not murder? There we go. Should I not murder? In your worldview, should I not murder somebody? Should I ought not to murder someone? Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, now here's the place I wanna explore. This is really interesting to me. I think you'll see why in a minute. Why? Why ought I not to murder?
Why?
Yeah, according to morality, to be morally, it'd be morally bad for me not to murder. It'd be morally bad for me to murder. Why ought I not to?
That's a good question.
And this is the
Trying to
question. Yeah.
so I obviously, like my gut reaction would be, well, because killing people is bad.
I
But
agree. Yeah.
and to expand on that, like, why is it bad? Well, I would say it's bad because anybody just started killing people random, because you wouldn't want to be killed yourself, so it makes sense not to kill others. Like, kind of using borrowing the golden rule, it makes sense. You know, if I can if I can control myself and not do this thing to somebody else is more likely to not lose control and do that to me. And if you
Okay.
think about it broadly on the whole, you shouldn't kill people, because if it's just widely accepted, the chances of you continuing to live dramatically decrease.
What if I think I can get away with it? Like, I think I can, like, I can murder this family in cold blood, steal all the money, do it once, and then I think I can get away with it, and you probably won't do it again. Just like I have a lot of money. Should I
Well,
ought
something
not?
I should have.
Okay.
Yes, you should not do that, but I should have probably clarified on a more, like, maybe personal philosophical type thing.
Okay.
It's also outside of self-preservation, being selfish. Like for me personally, I grew up instilled in me a belief that life is inherently precious and it should be protected.
Okay.
And, like, obviously, I believe that there are times where sometimes killing is justified, self-defense, or, like, protecting children or something, anything like that. But cold-blooded murder is wrong, because those people have an inherent right to exist, to be alive,
Okay.
and to
Uh
so
yeah.
that would be a personal belief that I grew up with, and I might not, but I also acknowledge that I might not have that if I was raised in a different type of society.
Okay. Yeah. Um. Sure. Yeah. That's fair. And I think like what we think is moral, and maybe I may have kerfuffled up with some of my phrasing, but I'll try to be more better. But I think there's a difference between what we think is morally good and now, okay, we
Mm-hmm.
think we have a morality, and there's different. There's a bunch. I took one ethics class in college about morality or ethics or yeah, philosophy about ethics.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of differing like theories of what is moral, like what makes something moral. I mean, it gets convoluted quick, but there's a difference. There's like a difference between okay, we have differing views of like the fundamental ethical theory of morality. But now, I think a tester of like what one might be true is the reason why we ought to follow it. Like this ought is the big word of why I'm convinced in the Christian worldview of ought. Like I guess I'll say this instead of trying to guide you down a train. I'll bring more clarity. Though I think that's interesting. Um, I think the ought can't be explained from this naturalistic morality that just kind of comes that was just built slowly over time, evolved slowly over time through society and building. I think most of us believe we ought not to murder. Like I ought not to. But why should I follow that morality system? I don't think that can be explained. Why do you think should I not? Now again, like you would say you responded, like oh it's not good for you. I was like, but like what if I think it is good for me? Like I don't think I get caught. I have like a really good plan to get away with it. I'll get a lot of money. They're rich. I'll just steal all their money. I'll get better. I just have way more money. I can start other stuff. Like if I don't like, I think it's better for me. If that's the only like,
Oh,
so do you
so
see what I'm
you were
saying?
asking what's keeping the individual, like, if they still think that, if there's anything, if they already think that, if there's anything preventing them from carrying out with it, if they think that they can get away with it with no consequences. Was
Uh,
that where you were going?
Maybe I'm trying to think if what you just said is what I'm trying to say. Uh, Let me say yes and go for it. Do you have a response to that? I'm not sure for sure.
Kinda. So, like, because when you were asking it, I thought you were asking if, like my personal reason why somebody else ought
Oh,
not to do that, or
okay.
myself.
Yeah, why Yes, why in general that person ought not to murder.
If
Just in like
that
yeah,
why that from that own person's perspective, why should they not?
yeah,
Well, if they if
okay,
they believe if they believe that they can get away with it, and they have a desire to, and they don't think that they're going to get away with it, and they would have to lack the belief that killing people is wrong in any capacity, and that people do have an inherent right to life. If you lack that, then there is just nothing stopping you from, if, especially if you think there will be no consequences and you can get away with it. There's no stopping. There will be no stopping your attempt, at least, and we see that
Sure, not
with
stopping,
murders and killings all the time.
but it's still bad though. You can't stop it. I agree, but you'd still say it's a bad thing, even though they. But I guess what I'm saying. Okay, I should go ahead and just paint my full picture. I think.
Okay.
Instead, I think I'm trying to gain clarity, but I think I don't know. Whatever. I think this will bring more clarity this way. So here's a conversation I've had before, but where I'd ask, okay, why ought not? What makes it bad? Oh, because society says it's bad, and this is kind of what we're talking about, right? And
Hmm.
this is why I'm bringing up this question because this is what it sounds like you're saying. Um, but now, okay, why? Because society says it's bad. We agree. Now, why? Or it's bad for society. There we go. That's why. Because it's bad for society. Um, okay, I'm remembering now. I'm remembering the clarity. That's a question. So I think I should apologize really, really quick. I think
Okay.
I process out loud, so you're hearing all my thoughts. Just blah, blah, blah. Sorry about that if it's confusing, but you've been really patient. I appreciate that.
It's all good.
Yeah. So murder. So the answer to that, because it's bad for society or it's bad for yourself. Okay, and you kind of said that. There we go. Now I think the rug. Here's the problem. I think the rug just gets pushed back. Okay, then I would ask, why is that bad? Why is being bad for society bad, or why is being for yourself bad? And I think that almost sounds like a stupid question. I think the first time I heard that was stupid, but I think it's a really profound reason. What makes that bad? Like we have like it seems like we have goodness detectors.
Hmm.
Um, like for some reason, like whether like I think it's like God put it in us, some people think it's evolution, but now I think that's a profound question. Why? Yeah, the why question to why is it good? Yeah. Do you have thoughts there? I was just rambling a little bit there.
So I'm
Or
trying
some
to.
what sounds weird, or it's a weird idea. It's hard to think about if you don't haven't thought about it.
So like speaking from that individual's perspective, like why is it? Why
Oh,
should he care if it's bad for society, or
no,
why should he care?
not why he should care, but why just like it's bad in general. Not it's just kind of like in a general sense from just from this theory of morality. Why is it
Okay.
bad? Look from an onlooker. If your theory of morality is true, from just an
Hmm.
onlooker trying to explain this is bad and why
About
this is
we're still talking about murder, right?
yeah. Just I'm just trying to pick something that in the
Well,
theory.
an outside observer could say, okay, this is objectively bad. This is a net negative for society as a whole,
Okay, yeah.
because, well, simply because murder in and of itself is a detriment to society, because it takes away from the society people who would either contribute to it or otherwise. And it also takes away an idea of perceived safety from harm.
Okay. Yeah. This is great. That's all. Okay. I think we're going down the road I was curious about, and I really hope we can get. Yeah, I can get my thoughts for you to understand my thoughts. Which again, I don't think that's on you. I think it's just these are hard. I think I'm not the best at explaining, and these are tough concepts. So,
Hmm.
okay. So yeah, it's bad for society for those reasons. Now, here's the question: Why is it? Why? Okay. I'll phrase this right, and I want this is a key phrase. Why is it being bad for society? Why is that a bad thing? Why is it bad if it's bad for society? Like, why should I care if it's bad?
Well,
Why? Oh,
that
not why.
comes from.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that it comes from, like, at its base, without getting more complicated, because that would be like an entirely other set of conversations. But at its base, what's bad for society is bad for the individual, because if society is harmed, an individual is harmed, because an individual is subject to what is happening in society. If the society is harmed and you lose that safety net of, okay, well, murder, senseless murder is now legal and or possibly even encouraged, your chances of survival decrease and it becomes harder for you to live. You the fear that you have to live with is increased, and it's you or any individual in that society are going to suffer inherently because of it. And from that perspective, what's bad for society is bad for the person. What is bad for the person, obviously, ever if it's bad for you, you would say it's bad.
Yeah. Um. Uh, but like, if it what if it is good for the person? If it turns out, oh, he does really, if he does a good life, then it seems like that's not like then the individual doesn't really matter there. Like, because oh, it's
Well,
good for him, but
if
we
it's
still
good
think
for
it's
the
good.
individual, then they can take yeah. Oh, so I yeah. Well, that could be good for a lot of individuals because individuals could
Hmm.
use that excuse to all right. I'm going to take control of this, and I'm going to make myself use the opportunity to be selfish or take power or commit murder myself because I am a monster and I enjoy that. They would it would be for them. To them, it would be an objective good because their individual morality. Because I believe morality is entirely subjective. Their morality could completely differ from from society's, and what they might perceive to be totally good. They might not care what the rest of society thinks is good or bad. They basically they internalize what they think is good. If it's good for them, then to them it's good. A lot of it could be extremely individual based.
Drats, we've gotten pretty muddy. I'm actually kind of getting I'm kind of almost losing myself and kind of how do I piece it? I want to bring it simple. I want to bring it simpler. Um, because at the same time, like I'm asking you questions or like with common sense answers, right? I mean, it's like, why are you asking this, Justin? I feel like what's your point? And I almost am getting lost in my point, except like just the idea of like it seems like to me. No, I don't see. So I actually have a physics degree. Um, so
Mm.
I love science, by the way. There are a lot of Christians who like are skeptical of science, but I love science. I think it's great. But just with that said, and with that said, they're just I don't see any way how atoms like atoms bouncing off of each other can get like morality for one, or why this set of atoms just like moving in a certain way, which we call murder, and um, moving these atoms around like in such a way that like we call murder, how like like from just a view of it, just like from just natural causes. I mean atoms, right? I don't see how that can actually like if we have rocks, a rock runs into another rock. That's not like that's just amoral.
Oh,
That's just amoral in general.
okay.
So like
I think I might see what you're getting at.
okay, yeah, okay,
So so I would say that from the I want to say that you're still looking at it from the lens of an objective morality, but with everything that you said and including non-living things into it, just basically the balance of like just how things happen, right? What I would say to that is that morality is an entirely human concept. Maybe not entirely human because some animals might have it too, based off of like packs. They might okay, maybe not just to kill everybody in your pack. Then it's hard because I think animals can get a limited morality in the same way, but everything is entirely subjective, and is made it is made and subjected by intelligent creatures. It's like I would say, just for simplicity, I would say it is a human creation. I would
okay,
say that
yeah,
there's nothing inherently moral or immoral. It isn't we collectively and sometimes arbitrarily decide what is good and what is bad. And we can give any set reason for it. And it could make sense to some people, it might not make sense to other people.
okay. I see what you're saying. I think I'm understanding more. And I think actually I think we're both understanding each other. Um, I think. What do I think? Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like you ascribe. It sounds like okay, and ascribe to like a yeah naturalistic worldview, and then that comes from a morality, a very subjective morality. A truly, it just depends on person to person. Like subjective. I mean, I think yeah, just varies from person's
Yeah,
opinions. It's opinion based. There's no just like ob- yeah, like I said objective. I'm just trying to say it in different
right.
words.
Yeah, from
Okay,
person
that's good to
everybody
know.
I believe has their own personal moral, what they consider. I think everybody has their own personal morality that they get from however many sources throughout their life, or you might even think you have that innately within yourself, but
Okay.
loosely
And
connected people, and then it becomes loosely in society, and then sometimes even solidified within a society.
now, okay. So then help me address. I try to also weigh a couple things. So help me then we'll go back to Hitler really quick and help me like
Okay.
fully understanding your worldview, like because I mean you can say at least from your lens that it's evil to you. Um,
Yes.
and I guess I asked you the question, but that you wouldn't go farther than that. Like, I'm just trying to I just want to just I'm just coming for clarity more. I'm not like trying to make an
Mhm.
argument here. Uh, yeah, I guess maybe I'm just answering the question I'm asking, but yeah, I just know no more than that. Just evil to you and maybe not evil to someone. It's just all subjective. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like there's more useful questions I can ask there. I'm trying to think on like, okay, because I was with what I was trying to do with asking about the murder, like the murder case in the ought, because I think that's a big question. I think the I think in the reason why we ought to follow can't come like we can explain why like people like say evolution came from or my bad morality came from evolution, but I don't think evolution or naturalism can explain why we ought to follow something like we think it's just morally bad, even if it does benefit, even if it benefits the individual and he doesn't get caught.
Mhm.
So and I think that's evidence. That is evidence in something maybe not God, maybe not God. You doesn't go all the way to God, but I think just to help you understand my view, I'm just explaining my view on it instead of just trying to
Mhm.
ask and get clarity right now. I th- I think that's evidence for something that transcends us. Like, because like the evolution question, people say, oh, because of evolution. But that just because we can see where it came from, like evolution's not telling me what to do. Like maybe I can explain it. Like why do I should I follow evolution? Like these thoughts it puts in my head. So that's kind of the. I'm not responding to things you've said, but just kind of I'm just trying to bring clarity on my view right now. Uh, yeah, that's what does that sound? And again, what I was trying to paint the picture was, I think, evidence in this world that paints this picture of morality that I believe in.
Mhm.
Thoughts on what I just said?
So I would ask you this: if it if objective if like what we consider today like good and bad, right, morals, if that does come if that does come from God, what would you say about people who still refrain from certain acts that we would consider immoral or evil? They refrain from them even without a belief or knowledge of God, like pre-Christianity.
Oh, okay, yeah, this is good. I'm glad we're moving into this. You picking apart mine now. I mean, I'd say like the Bible describes in Christian worldview, like He wrote the laws on our hearts. Like he He's written morality on the human heart. The human heart knows it, whether he knows God or not. Like he at least knows what's good and bad, and you can choose it. Like there's this
Okay,
goodness
so that
detectors.
could be like the little voice, your conscience in your head, that
Yeah,
maybe
our
I shouldn't
conscience.
do
Yep,
that.
our conscience. Yep, that is exactly that. That's what I
Okay,
think about it.
I'm I'm not opposed to that, because if that could be entirely viable. But I would have no way to know that that's how it is. But
Sure.
that's
Okay.
if I did have a, I would believe that if he is alive, that could be a legitimate explanation.
Okay. Sweet. Okay. Um, I'm just thinking forth for the rest of the time here that
Right?
I need to. It's eight. What time is it there? It's 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 8:11 here. Um, I need to go to bed at 9 o'clock, but I need to spend some time with Aaliyah. So maybe I'll say this. Actually, you've been great to talk to. Maybe we can. We're not done yet. I'm not finishing right here. Maybe we could talk. We could talk more in the future because I think it'd be interesting to go over other topics. But I think to end it out in like maybe within the next 10 minutes, I think a big goal of mine, and when I talk to people, like I think people do not, and you've experienced this yourself. It sounds like people do not know how to disagree, and they just end up doing yelling matches.
Yeah.
And also a big plague is caricatures of other people's beliefs that
Yes.
people just misrepresent people everywhere. So part of my mission here
Yeah.
on YouTube, and maybe hopefully grow it so I can kind of push this mission is kind of a mission of clarity. Let's actually like understand each other, not hate each other. Should set an example. Hopefully over time, maybe this YouTube channel will grow. I can set an example of people like, okay, let's okay. First off, let's not just like object to their beliefs without actually understanding what they specifically believe, because all our things are complicated. I might ascribe to Christianity, you might ascribe to agnosticism, but like that's a big scope, and everyone thinks super differently. It's super important to bring clarity. So, with that said, maybe like is there any like again 10 minutes is not long, but like I don't know, like clarity. Maybe at least end off at least so I can like at least destroy in your head potential caricatures that you've heard, not fault of your own, of Christianity. Something like that does. So you've said a few times. You said, okay, if so far what you're saying, Justin, if it's true, it sounds fine, but I have no way of saying it's true. Now, so maybe assuming, maybe not assuming it's true, but is there like I can bring like clarity on the Christian worldview?
Hmm.
That sounds messed up. If it's true, that sounds messed up. Is there any something like that that we
Oh
can
yeah.
talk about for a few minutes?
Several. Oh
Okay, yeah.
well. We if that's the case, we could go to the primary one. The idea. Well, kind of what started this is like, and this is from my understanding that obviously I know not all Christians believe on this specific thing, but like I have been told by people that I know, people that I family and friends that subscribe to this belief that because that regardless of the good that I do in this life and I try not to quote unquote sin or I just do my best to be a good person. I'd like to think I'm caring and reasonable, but I don't have an active faith in God, and I've been told that because of that, that is sin enough to damn me to an eternity of torture, and I think that is wholly evil and unjust.
Okay. I with what they said, like let's say what you said, I disagree with what they said and what they told you. I don't I think it I think it is a sin. Unbelief, like yeah, but I can that could be a lot of talk to say the why.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't think it's just like just because of that, and I'm also less convinced because I think what to believe is like insanely hard, especially these days with a billion voices screaming at you,
Mhm.
like from TikTok, internet, people, everyone's saying my side's true, my side's true. It's really
And that
hard.
that's another that's one of the things, that's one of the reasons, that was one of the factors why I lost faith. I used to be a
Okay.
firm believer,
Oh yeah.
and then I lost it over time. I think I struggled with it for several years, and I finally came to terms with it. The idea that I I couldn't actively believe anymore when I was roughly 19.
Okay. Yeah, dang it. I would love to parse through that. Maybe okay. I'm gonna try to at least give an answer. I'm curious to hear then your response. And I don't know, would you I'm guarantee this is not sufficient. 2 minutes is not sufficient for this topic. Would you want
Yeah,
to meet again some point in the future and talk?
yeah, that's fine. It might be a little bit because I don't
That's
know when I'm gonna be free again, but yeah,
agreed. Me too. I have a work trip next week, and then just things are busy. But I would really like to talk again. We can just stay connected on TikTok. And maybe we
yeah,
can set another time in the future to talk about this. But I'll try to respond to that quickly and see if it clears up anything at all. If not, that's fine, and we can just end. And
yeah. Well,
and this will be the
I
next
doubt
topic.
anything's gonna be truly clear. I mean, it is a pretty
Yeah,
complicated thing to talk about.
but I guess I'll just kind of respond to what I said earlier, in which we need parsing out. We kind of went into this topic of morality, which I love. I love philosophy and these deep talks, but it'd be good to stick on that for another video. I would just say is like okay, again, it's not we don't go to hell like me. I currently deserve hell, believe it or not, according to my Christian worldview. I don't deserve hell. Um, I don't deserve hell because just because of one sin of unbelief. No, it's actually, again, all these evil things that we do, these bad things that are no big deal, that adds up and require a just punishment. Yeah, good works are great. Like I think humans are way better than we think we are, and way worse at the same time. Like if I say I've done so many good works, like if I murdered somebody, we talk a lot about murder tonight. Sorry for
Right.
listening. I guess some people are gonna listen to this, so yeah. But um, no matter if I say, oh, given a lot of money to the poor, I've helped Grammys across the street, I still have to, like, it doesn't matter what I tell the judge what I've done good. If I murdered a family in cold blood, I deserve the punishment, and that's kind
Oh,
of
right. Yeah,
that's
there
that.
are absolutely certain things that outweigh things that you've done good. I do believe that,
Yeah,
with or without God, there are tiers of bad deeds.
yeah, and there's this analogy I think helps paint this picture of why we deserve hell, why being generally good doesn't, or we think generally good. Again, I think our evil deeds are way worse, way worse than we actually think they are. And we just think of like a butterfly effect of just like one little bit of evil how can affect like 50
Mm-hmm.
years in the future. I mean, I just think this is the worldview the Bible paints, and because of all these things that we've done in life, why we deserve hell and why I say I deserve hell, but the only reason I can go to heaven is because God came down as Jesus and paid the ultimate cost to pay for the sins. So if I think a way to frame it is if I just let him, if I choose to follow him and let him change me and let him purify me. But if I'm not willing to submit to him, if I'm not willing to submit to him in heaven, like why and submit to the definer of good, the definer of good in heaven. Like I can't expect to do good and be free from evil in heaven, and you're no evil's allowed into heaven. That got a little dicey and weird. And I also maybe again I just have to shove things into a short response, but and I just think in terms of being unbelief. Oh wait, I can't help believe. I think God will at some in someone's lifetime give us all a sufficient chance to believe in him with enough evidence. I think that's true. And maybe it's not right away. It takes time, but like yeah, there we go. There's my response. The ultimate response that is not sufficient because it takes parsing out. It
Now
just
I'm kind of
like
writing a little note for myself because you said something that little light bulb in my head that draws back previously to objective or subjective morality, but it's probably going to be for next time. But I'm writing it
okay,
down.
sure. Um, I guess do you have any quickish thoughts? I'll let you have like just the last say. Um,
Oh, I would agree with most of the baseline of what you're saying. Um, yes, there are, you know, everything, every bad deed, every sin should have a reasonable punishment. But I can't remember if you were saying that like each one has like a proportionate response or if they all add up.
for sure proportionate. And I could
Okay.
describe. I'll just leave it at that for a second for now.
Okay.
But yeah, proportionate. Murdering someone is worse in God's eyes than stealing a pencil, maliciously stealing
Okay.
a pencil.
I
Um,
I think we would agree on that.
okay. But I'd be really curious in a future video, and I'm already thinking of like a title and thumbnail for it. To parse out. Okay, if Christianity was true, what do you think of it? Okay, does it actually make sense? Is this like sound immoral? Like it actually go through if it was true. That'd be interesting in the video, and perhaps also parsing out like the more thoughts about um the morality discussion. I also honestly have to process it too and think about it. I'm probably gonna listen to this video in full. But other than that, excuse me, sorry, I just had to cough up my dinner a little bit. Yeah, I think this is a good ending spot because especially since I need to go to bed soon and give some time to my wife. Um, yeah, I guess it's to tell you. Yeah, I'll just. Yeah, I think this is great. We should connect and do this again sometime. It could be a month and 3 weeks, month in the future, and that's okay. Whatever. That's cool. I think you're an awesome person to talk to. You're reasonable. I think this is actually like fruitful conversation. We're understanding each other. I'm understanding you a little deeper, and I don't know. I think there's good steps here. I think this is good, and I want this stuff
Yeah,
on
I
the
think
internet,
it's good.
out in the internet.
One of the first times I've had a, well, outside people that are like already my friends, first time I've, one of the first times that I've had a conversation with a stranger about it where I haven't been called an ignorant heathen bastard.
I was just about to call you that. You took the words out of my mouth. Okay. I thought it was great. So we should talk again tonight. Thank you so much and for being vulnerable to
Yeah.
talk to a random dude and post it on the internet. But this will be out in like 2 or 3 weeks or something. But yeah, if you have questions or something, just let me know on TikTok.
Yeah.
But
Can't
okay,
wait to see all the edits of you making me look bad.
no, nope, it won't. And just to let you know, I will. It'll
This is a
probably
joke.
have. It'll. I mean, just the structure of the video. It'll have a little attention getter intro by me to try to get people interested in the conversation. Unedited conversation, whole through, not touching it. And then I'm just gonna.
I was making a joke anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me.
But I wanted to tell you. I wanted to tell you. And then also, as soon as you log off here, I'm gonna like talk a couple of minutes to anyone who's listening and just give some of my thoughts. And I don't know if you listen to the video, you'll hear them. I'm not gonna bash you. Like, I mean, I like, yeah. So either way, okay, I gotta go. But thank you, man.
Yeah. You have a good one, man.
You too. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Um. Okay, right here. Some thoughts. It's a little later than I want to. Sorry, Aaliyah. Um. Yeah, that was good. I thought it was really good. Yeah, I think I got into some deep philosophical conversations. I need to say that in the intro. I hope I can remember that. Yeah, deep philosophical conversations. That was really good for me. I love those. I think clarity was brought. Like I can at least, if I didn't destroy the caricatures that he had coming into that he was told about Christianity, I think at least big progress is made, or at least he has hope that those caricatures might not be true. And Brandon, yeah, I don't know if Christianity is true. If Christianity is true, and we need to believe in this Jesus, like I want you to be a Christian. I want you to be a Christian so bad. Jeez, and you can understand that for sure if you thought my worldview was true. And I think you want me to want you to be saved, to be a Christian and be saved from your sins for all eternity. Yeah, so I think that was, now talk to everyone else on, not you, Brandon. That was it was good. I think some clarity was made. I think it'd be interesting to maybe think of some structure for a future video and not go everywhere in the world. But I like those conversations a lot. Any specific thoughts I want to respond to that was said, or clarify? I want to bring clarity, but I don't have time. I think I try to explain. It in maybe future videos. I will. Dang, I would like to parse that out. Let me think this really quick. Don't want to explain anything or try to summarize anything. Yeah, I guess I just think I summarized the gospel in the end. Just like we only go to we don't. No one deserves. I should have said this. I didn't say this to you, Brandon, but everyone deserves hell because of our sins. But Jesus loves us so much that even though we're evil, He came and died for us. He died and paid the cost so that if we just believe and follow Him, that that's a free gift. He will change. He'll even do the work to change us. That we can, yeah, He'll pay the cost for our sins. We can be with Him in heaven for all of eternity instead of damned to hell like we deserve it. Yeah, and then the philosophy. Maybe I'll just paint the pictures. I just think oh dang, it's just getting late. I don't even want to, but I think it's healthy. I think I just want to paint the picture that yeah, I just think this world, the objective, most people in this world, I'm not talking about Brandon right now, but just most people in this world believe in objective morality, that things are objectively wrong no matter what. Like most people would answer, like most people think if everyone believes what Hitler did was good, it'd still be evil. And if you believe that, now this isn't a super helpful argument in Brandon's case, but just for people who already believe in this, I think this is great evidence for Christianity, because where does that come from? It can't come from atoms. If you think this is true, it can't come from atoms. And now I'm realizing, Brandon, if you're listening to this, I think that this probably we should talk about it more, because I love the philosophy of it. And maybe that could be like a separate video, or maybe the same one. But I think this might not be helpful in the sake of the argument. But I would like to. I like philosophical discussions. But yeah, so there we go. I think it's just objective. is good evidence for Christianity. Dang it, I should explain it better, but I'm tired. I really do need to go, like I was telling him. I need to go to bed pretty soon here. I didn't manage my time good today. But yeah, okay. Well, if you're listening, Brandon, I'm just ultraly aware of that. And anyone listening, um, I think you can understand this. Would you help pray for Brandon that assuming Christianity is true, that would you pray that he become a Christian? I wish I would have asked him this, but I'm gonna pray because I'm gonna have a love for you as a human being. I'm gonna do that. Okay, I want you to. Okay, Lord, I pray. I pray you bless Brandon. Thank you for the conversation. I pray you just bless him in his life, just in general. If any hardships are going on, just you would help him. I think I should pray for that. And Lord, if you're true, like it seems like I didn't ask him this. I wish I would have, but I think if it was true, he'd want to know you, and he thinks you might not you don't exist. Lord, I pray you would reveal to him that you exist, and you would show him that you're good, and explain that to him. I know I'm not claiming to know all the answers, Lord. I have a lot to learn myself, but Lord, I pray you would save him. I guess I guess I'd ask you'd save his soul and give him what he needs to accept you, please. Okay, Lord, thank you so much, in your name I pray. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, logging off.